Now let's move on with the fourth stanza and the concluding stanza of the poem Break, Break, Break. Once again, I'll read out the stanza to you. Break, break, break at the foot of thy crags, O sea. But the tender grace of a day that is dead will never come back to me. Now just mark the repetition of the line break, break, break. Now I had already emphasized in the first video that the repetition of the word break actually brings out the contrast. Once again, the contrast between the external activities of the world and the internal emotional breakdown of the poet. In the second line of the stanza, at the foot of thy crags, here crags means the rocky face, the rocky stones, or the cliff of the sea. Again, we see the use of apostrophe or addressing in this second line where he's addressing the sea once again, O sea, by using the term O sea. But the tender grace of a day that is dead. The third line reads, but the tender grace of a day that is dead. Tender grace here means the happiness, the pleasure of the day. Probably of the day that is dead means of the time when his friend lived and he enjoyed his company. That time will never return. So here we see that the poet is trying to say that nature may sympathize with the poet, may mourn the death of his friend in sympathy with him, but his friend will never live again. He will never again know that happiness which he enjoyed in the company of his friend Arthur Hallam. So once again the poet asks the sea to break against the seashore, break against its cliffs, its rocky stones, its rocky face, to share its grief. He says that the sea will continue with its activity. It will continue receding and then moving again towards the seashore. But for him, things will never come back. His friend would never come back. Those past days would never come back. He will never be in a position to experience that happiness ever again in his life. So, in this fourth stanza, the speaker returns to the breaking of waves on the craggy cliffs. And the waves come again and again, hitting a wall of rock each time. But for him, there is no return of his friend of the past time. Okay? What will reoccur is the pain of loss. Here again, the critic at Sofa explains that the poet's realization of the fruitfulness of action draws the reader's attention to the fact that the sea's action is seemingly fruitless too. For all its efforts, it can no more get beyond the rocks than the poet can restore the past. Nevertheless, both the sea and the speaker continue with their useless but repeated actions, as though there is no other choice with them. The scene evokes a sense of inevitability and hopelessness. And this is quite obvious. If we try to analyze this concluding stanza, we realize that finally the poet realizes that despite all the efforts, he cannot bring back the old days when he used to spend happy time with his friend Arthur Hallam. As his friend is dead, he is no more in this world, so it is not possible for him to retreat. There is no possibility for him to bring back his friend. There is no possibility for him to again feel the tender grace of the past days, because those days are now lost. Those days are also dead along with his friend Arthur Hallam. That's all for the explanation of the poem. And before concluding this particular video, I would again summarize the thoughts of the poem. The speaker here addresses the waves of the sea, telling them to crash or to strike against the rocky shore again and again. Watching this happen, the speaker yearns for the ability to express troubling thoughts that won't go away. Looking out onto the water, the speaker watches a fisherman's son shouting and playing with his sister. At the same time, he also views a young sailor who sings while sailing through the bay. There are also majestic boats sailing, grand ships, in fact, sailing through the bay, and the speaker envisions them passing into ideal, somewhat heavenly destinations. But watching these ships doesn't distract the speaker from the memory of the touching of the hand of an acquaintance, that is, his friend Arthur Hallam, who no longer exists in this world, whose voice has also gone silent forever. Again, the speaker, towards the end of the poem, calls out to the waves as they smash against the cliffs along the shoreline again and again, feeling that the easy happiness of previous days will never return. That's all for the explanation and the summary of the poem Break, Break, Break. In the next video, I'll be giving you certain points related to the critical appreciation of the poem Break, Break, Break. Thank you.